Okay, our next writer is Kate Johnson. And Kate writes about misfits who can't fit in and misfits who just plain old won't. For fun, she throws these misfits into basements or beds together and then locks the door. She's written 3 novels in various stages of disregard by agents. Her husband Tom keeps her sane, sort of, along with her kids and an exchange student who Kate claims says in German, "Mrs. Johnson, I could listen to you read your brilliant book all night." But I Googled it. Google Translate tells me it really means, "Mrs. Johnson, please go far away from me." Kate, come on up.
Oh no. I just came for the free snacks. Okay. Thanks everyone for being here. Anne and Kevin, thank you for inviting me. And now I introduce you to Carly Parker, woman of bold inaction. She sleeps by day and writes alter ego science fiction novels by night until a garbage truck rolls into her life and she becomes obsessed with her garbage man, Victor Ruby, Greek god, stunning stud muffin. But there's a problem. He's obsessed with finding his missing wife, Amber, positive she was abducted. Carly's certain Amber faked her abduction and skipped town to escape raising, count 'em, their triplet 3-year-old boys. Timid, bespectacled Walter isn't so bad, but Danny and Davy are terrors. In the previous scene, Carly has finally landed what she considered her first date with Victor, a barbecue in his backyard with his triplets, his dad Ezra, and a bargain gallon of wine. She woke in a tiny bed shaped like a race car, the sun shining unkindly through open curtains. Evidently, she had slept with the wrong Ruby. She worried how far they'd gone, then, relieved, felt her clothes still on. She wondered what day it was, in what month. It would possibly be a grave mistake to move, but she felt an undeniable need to pee. She rolled the smallest Ruby off her and stood. Someone else had felt that need too, because her blouse was soaked and sticking to her skin. Studying Walter's shorts, she saw he wasn't 100% yet on the toilet training. Clearly, she'd neglected to ask before they tumbled into bed together. She staggered into the hall, looking for a bathroom. She found it, but was forced to wait for Davy, who was going number 2, with the door open. Her stomach already churning, she attempted to close the door. Davy corrected her. "You're supposed to say, 'Good job,' and wipe my butt." Before she could answer, Victor appeared in fresh clothes, smelling of sandalwood, hair wet and gleaming. A day's growth of beard made him more dazzling than Carly could bear. She squinted against it. "I'll do that," he grinned. "You did enough last night, dancing that tarantella. I never saw Walter laugh so hard." He disappeared into the bathroom. Carly leaned against the wall to wait her turn. She had no recollection of the tarantella. She had no idea what a tarantella was. It seemed Victor didn't either. He reemerged after he'd washed his hands, Carly trying hard to ignore that trigger of running water. "Man, Carly, your hair looks amazing, all crazy like that, but your shirt's all wet." He realized why. "Damn, I'm so sorry. I should have stuck Walter in a pull-up. It was just so cute, the way he was hanging." He broke off. Again, that look across his face. "Let me find you something to wear." Carly went into the bathroom, which smelled bad now, and peed. She fought the urge to look in the mirror, but lost. He was right. Her hair looked deranged. She tried to fix it, but something sticky had fused against her scalp. She splashed her face with cold water and what was available. Incredible Hulk body wash. She grabbed a tiny toothbrush from the wall. Squeezing Thomas the Tank Engine toothpaste, she brushed until the wine was gone from what was left of her memory. Not much. Victor was waiting in the hall. I thought you could borrow one of Amber's shirts if you don't think it's, sacrilegious. I'm sure she wouldn't mind. She was always swapping clothes with her girlfriends. Or you could wear this one, it's mine. He was holding up 2 shirts, one that might fit over Carly's forearm, the other what she'd hoped to slip into this morning under very different circumstances. Thanks, she said, grabbing it. I know I was an idiot last night. Are you kidding? You were the best time we've had since almost ever. Well, if you say so. Look, I hate to say this, but my pants are wet too. Not down there, she added quickly. I didn't pee too. By the waistline where it seeped. Geez, he smacked his head. I am the worst at entertaining. He disappeared into a room, then popped back out with a pair of checkered shorts. I think these'll work. I'm thinking you and my dad are about the same size. Wincing against what that looked like in his head, she grabbed the shorts, then went back in the bathroom. Choosing to smell like Hulk over urine, she stepped into the shower. It was a Laffy Taffy that was one with her head. She couldn't blame the boys for that. She'd bought it when she bought the wine, reasoning that since it was fruit-flavored, it was another freebie per her diet. When it wouldn't tease out, she was forced to wait until its 800 pink ingredients trickled down her body. Then she threw on Victor's shirt and Ezra's shorts, more comfortable than her own, and crept downstairs. Hearing noises from the kitchen, she decided to bolt out the front door, hitched up Ezra's shorts, and got halfway before Danny jumped in front of her. Your bunny or your life! He'd gotten his squirt gun back. Before she could slink past, Victor hurried in. What did I tell you about shooting guests? He scolded. You're going to lose that gun again. Come, he smiled at Carly, waving his arm. We got breakfast ready. Coffee. You want coffee, right? Pancakes, sausage, you name it. Carly was helpless when he smiled at her, drawn mindlessly forward like a bug on a window pane. Walter was up now and changed, strapped into a booster and licking a pancake. He gave Carly a small smile. She returned it with a steely gaze. Walter, next time you give me so much booze, I'll throw up on your head. He ducked behind his pancake, but Carly heard the giggle. She almost smiled. Easy enough to turn into a scowl as she sat down on the chair that felt least sticky. Ezra poured her coffee while Victor pushed over a plate of food. Now, I know you need to work on strategy, but your ideas were so good, I was up all night working on our game plan. He slid over a yellow legal pad and Carly looked at it uncomprehendingly, then up into his beautiful face. What's all this? She resisted the urge to run her hand along his stubble. Sighing, she looked down again. I tried to jot down all your ideas about rescuing, he glanced at Walter. Amber. I've been losing my mind over this, Carly. You got no idea what this means to me, he blinked furiously, having you on my side. I thought I felt bad with my mom dying, but that's nothing compared to this. Carly looked up alarmed. I'm so sorry. I had no idea your mom died. What would happen next around here? When I was 11, Carly slumped in her chair. I wasn't there for him the way I should have been, Ezra said. Nowadays, they got books on it. How to handle grief. Back then, I figured we should just tough it out. I guess Victor and his sister kind of raised each other. But when she died, Carly sagged further. When I was 15, Victor explained, blinking harder, it was a car accident. She wasn't a very polished driver yet. I did everything wrong, Ezra continued. Victor fell into a depression, you'd have to call it. You did too, Dad. We were both like two ships lost on an ocean. For years, we couldn't bring each other in. He turned to Carly. But this is worse, because we don't know where SHE is, or what happened to HER. I'm sure she's still ALIVE, but I don't know WHE. I get it. Carly emptied the coffee pot into her cup. Are you saying last night I gave ideas on how to locate HER? Victor nodded fervently. You were amazing. Remember? We were on the trampoline, and you almost threw up because of your somersault, but then you didn't, and we laid down and talked. As far as Carly knew, she hadn't managed a somersault since she was 6. Victor, you don't even own a trampoline. My neighbors, remember? You insisted we go over there, and we tried to be quiet. Good thing they're out of town because we weren't. It was a riot. Then he frowned. I'm just going to have to run through that whole boundaries thing again with the boys. But it was worth it. So, we were lying on some stranger's trampoline, she continued, and you started talking about the case. Right, and you actually listened to me, which no one's done for months. And I started, well, I suppose I started CRYing a little, right? And you offered to help me find HER. Then for some reason you were rubbing my feet. I forget exactly why. And you had such great ideas for the search. That's why I stayed up, to write everything down. There's stuff I forgot, but this will get us off to a great start. She looked at him hard, trying to cut through the physical perfection to the person behind it, whom she'd never actually considered. Was it possible he still cared about this woman, this bitch who'd left him? Could a person that nice exist, let alone behind a face like his? Carly had assumed the people that innocent got mowed down in preschool. The law of the jungle gym, the fate of the Nabi-need. The suspense. I could cut it with a knife. So, she scratched her head. You're still. She glanced at Walter, under the table now, his back resting against Victor's shins, petting a banana. She looked back to Victor. You haven't stopped searching, even though the police concluded? She tried to decide which word to spell. Abandoned. Dumped. F-U-C-K-E-D. And on that lofty note, the end.